What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. We are live here with the Wrestling Wire. Man, look, how much can a work go over? If you don't know what I'm talking about, pay attention to MJF. Pay attention to Sasha Banks Naomi. Pay attention to all these stories. But for right now, I got something else you need to pay attention to. Allow me to introduce to you our guest for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Mr. Tyson Maddox. How are you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good on this Sunday mid-afternoon, mid-evening. No.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, man, you've been burning up the indie scene. You do a lot of traveling. Man, tell me about yourself.
Man, like you said, I've been traveling all across the United States. Before the pandemic happened, I was going to Japan every year. Been to Mexico twice. Just, what I'm saying, earning up the miles and getting experience.
How long you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling 5 years.
Wow, 5 years. Man, so who would you say are some of your more memorable opponents in that 5 years?
Ooh, man, let's see. I've been in there with Masato Tanaka, Shinjiro Otani, Takaiwa in Japan, Rhett Titus, Ricardo Rodriguez, Ricky Reyes. I was supposed to wrestle Caprice Coleman yesterday, but the weather happened, so I didn't get a chance. So that ended up getting canceled. That would have been a banger for sure. Man, that's pretty much been my notable opponents. So far.
Right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I wrestled Macias in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Now Ricardo Rodriguez. I recognize that name. But then, Caprice Coleman, Ring of Honor fame, right?
Yeah, Ring of Honor, NWA, doing some work with AEW also. He's pretty much a renaissance man when it comes to wrestling now. Yeah, I was looking forward to that one, but they pretty much had a weather coming, and they said a 60% chance of rain, and then it actually happened. So didn't get a chance to have that match, but I'll circle back to it one day.
Oh, I'm sure of it, man. Caprice Coleman's starting to get active here in the Carolina areas too, as well. A lot of independent organizations are looking at him as well. When it's let me put it to you like this, at least in this area, when it's affordable to bring in a talent with a name, most promoters jump on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's also how many different shows there are down here. You have to have something to be a draw. And bring the crowd in. When you get to that level where the show itself is the draw, then you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But I can say, like one thing I could just sometimes, the promotion of shows don't be, what it should be. Like a lot of promoters, they have a tendency to want to promote over Facebook and social media only, and a lot of times I don't think that's the way to go. You got to get the boots on the ground, get out there to the people, get the flyer in their hand, get it posted like that. That's how you pretty much draw a good crowd, and that's how you pretty much make the promotion the draw. That's just my opinion. I may be wrong. I don't know everything, but that's just my personal opinion.
I agree with you. What I would actually consider doing is something like at least in my case, I have a pickup, right? So I could make 3 signs that are 4x8 and go out and hang them up with. They could sit on board and in concrete buckets and call it a day, and nobody's really gonna mess with them. I would do it like that, and then just change the date on it.
Yeah, I've seen that done before, and I've seen them also just put like pro wrestling at a time, and there's no really need to change the date. You just stick it pro wrestling today, like it'll be today when they have it out there or whatever.
Yeah, it gets a little bit odd when you're not pushing it until the last minute. Thankfully down here with the companies I work with, I don't have that issue. I mean, most of these guys are a year in the can on ideas, stories, and the like. So I feel myself to be fortunate with that.
Yeah.
We got a couple of comments we're going to go ahead and catch up on. Michael King of King Enterprises says Cam Jackson next. That would be dope. So, in other words, he wants to see you and Cam Jackson, I believe.
Man, look, I'll fight anybody they put it there in front of me. Don't matter to me who it is. It could be Cam Jackson. Who else in that area? I can get my one-on-one with TJ Boss.
Man, yeah.
Zucker King. Who else, man? What's his name? Montana Black. If that's what he's still going by, him. It don't matter who it is. Whoever in the Carolinas want it, they can come get it.
Yeah, Bojack. Yep. Drew Adler. That'd be a good matchup.
They call me the Can Man because anybody can get it. I don't care who it is. I don't care where they from.
That doesn't surprise me. I'd like to see you in the ring with somebody with some size and stature, similar to a Drew Adler or somebody along those lines.
I mean, yeah, that's dope. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to step in there with me, they have to be ready because I'm a hybrid. You see the size, you see the stature, but when I get to moving, I'm faster than everybody. Then I can pull out the strength, and then with my skills and technique, if you want to go hold for hold, I can go hold for hold with you, so I can hit you with so many different ways. So what I'm saying? A lot of wrestlers out there, they one dimensional. Like what's his name? Antonio Morgan. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on him. You know what I'm saying? Out the gate. Antonio, man, straight up, bro. You have some talent, but you're not ready for me. You're not ready. You're too emotional. I heard it in your voice. When they mentioned Tyson Maddox, you started to stutter a little bit. The knees got to shaking like a crap game because you know what it is. You know what's about to happen to you. I'm going to beat the brakes off of you. You talk about the king of the spear. That's all you have. And then again, I saw your spear, and it looks like an arm tackle to me. See, when I spear you, I'm trying to push your small intestines and your large intestines all the way to your back. I'm trying to go straight through you. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Now, to catch up the crowd who may or may not have seen it, what he's referring to is this. Let's take a look at the footage.
We are here with the Anomaly. Antonio Morgan, how you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Fantastic. Hey, man, look. So, what is with this $5,000 bounty from Vanderford, the G?
Derek Vanderford. I once considered him a friend. He helped me break through in this industry. And I must say, it started off with an envelope, money. Derek Vanderford thinks he can manipulate people with his money. He manipulated me. I was his pawn. He helped chase him to get the championship. But guess what? I realized that Derek Vanderford is nothing but a coward who hides behind money and power.
Okay.
So, to the $5,000 bond, hit, whatever you call it, he might as well throw that $5,000 in the trash, burn it, because I promise you, whoever steps my way, they will feel the power of the anomaly.
Now, you say this, from what I understand, you're facing a very formidable opponent in one Tyson Maddox on July 23rd at the Welford Pavilion, American Wrestling League. What do you have to say to your opponent?
Tyson Maddox. At 52 reasons, we're going to clash. Am I intimidated with Tyson Maddox? No. He's probably one of the best opponents I'm going to step in the ring with. He's athletic. He's pound for pound with the same size, same speed, same strength. It's going to be a tough challenge. But you know what? He thinks he's better than me. He thinks he's more athletic than me. I'm going to show to him, I'm going to prove to him that I can compete with the best. Now, I'm not going to be so cocky and arrogant going there and think I'm going to just blow through him. But I promise you, he's not cashing in $5,000. Tyson Maddox, you said you're the king of the spear. I promise you, when I lay that spear on you, you will feel the power of the anomaly. Anything else you got?
That's it for me. Thank you very much, sir. You have a great one. Ladies and gentlemen, 52 reasons. Welford, South Carolina. American Wrestling League. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
It's the anomaly. Ain't nobody better than me. It's the anomaly. Ain't nobody messing with me. It's the anomaly.
I mean, hey, everybody out there, excuse the background noise. That's what we call tear down. That's that after the show's over, the ring's being broke down. It is what it is. But I can tell you one thing, dude. Two things I can think of that fuel Antonio Morgan on this. Number one, I mean, I'd rather beat Vanderford's ass myself and take the $5,000 than I would let somebody else take it for beating me. That's one. And number two, as well versed, as well traveled, trained, and all the accolades that you have, you are a step towards the future of his career for him to take you.
At times, I can see him kind of pattern a little bit his game after mine. I see it a little bit, but when you speak about the $5,000, like the money, that's not an interest of it. It's not all the interest. It's $5,000. If he wants my interest, if he wants me, let's say he bump it up to 20. Hey, Antonio said he had money. So Derek, if you bump it up to 20, then I might take you up. But $5,000, that's not enough. That's not enough for me. Cause I plan on whooping Antonio on GP, just whooping him just for the fun of it, just to show him a little lesson, humble him a little bit, let him know, you're almost there, but you're not there yet. You're not there yet. You are big, you are fast, you're strong. I will give you that. You train hard. But I'm going to take him out to that deep end, and I'm going to choke him out. Because I'm going to test his heart. I'm going to see what kind of guts he has. He talks a big one. But for me, I'm built to go. I'm not built for show. That's what I want to see. I want to see if he all show and no go. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, Antonio, I'm cut from a different cloth, and they don't make them like me no more. They don't. Ron Simmons, Butch Reed, Bad News Brown, Stevie Ray, Booker T. I'm cut out of that cloth. I'm gonna hurt you, son. Straight up.
Wow. We got some comments to filter in. Cole Maccabee, the owner and promoter of Pro Wrestling Union, in the house, saying good afternoon, gentlemen. Brino Royce, the Rolls Royce of Wrestling, my boy, and what's good, big bro? He's talking to you in that case because he's bigger than I am.
Brino, he saw what I can do firsthand.
Oh, for real?
He's witnessed it.
Man, I've done a little bit of traveling with Brino as of late, and I can tell you one thing. The dedication's there. I'll put it that way. The dedication and the heart is there in Brino.
Yeah, but, he kind of may have associated himself with some, some not so, you know what I mean.
I understand. I understand.
In this business, you got to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. I understand. That's what make you a man in this business. When you stand on your own 2 feet, you out there handling your business. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nobody, doing some underhand stuff to help you get over. Brino, I like him, but I don't like who he's associated with. If that makes sense.
Oh, it does. But you also realize he's associated with me too, right?
No,
I'm his associated. I'm his media outlet.
You're the no. He signed the contract, right?
With somebody else, yes.
Yeah, that contract. That's
you talking about that? Okay, yeah.
That part, yeah, that part.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that part, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I've seen, some of the things that they've been doing. They've been in Georgia, kind of causing all kind of havoc and everything, but.
Oh yeah.
It is.
I was there. I was at MomoCon. I was there with Stranglehold Championship Wrestling. I know all about what went down. Well, let me phrase that. I know enough of what went down.
Yeah. Oh,
John King says, would
I
like to see you
John
versus
King.
Samoa Joe.
Hey, I would love that too. Like Samoa Joe, that's someone I really I look up to. Like I love his style. I love his intensity. I try to channel that same intensity, that he displays in the ring. Whether, it's him, Killer Cross, them are some of my favorite guys. Yeah, most definitely. Samoa Joe. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one. Jimmy Ward, owner promoter of American Wrestling League. Tyson versus Antonio is going to tear the house down. Anyone who misses it is crazy.
That's something I can really agree to. They have this will be my first time wrestling in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first time in South Carolina.
Oh, so you have an impression to make.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna make Antonio's gonna be an example. I'm making an example out of for everybody.
All right. Michael King also chimed in. Bring in the real Drago.
The who?
The real Drago. He is your current Stranglehold Wrestling heavyweight champion. He beat their champion on day 4 of MomoCon. I can't remember.
You see that? You see that face?
A look of no concern.
Exactly.
Let's see here.
Exactly.
So if Tyson beats Antonio, he gets that $5,000 bounty. Man, this is going to be war with casualties.
Well, Cole, I said I was going to whoop Antonio just for the free. If he wants me to take him out, he's going to have to up the ante. Like what I said 20 grand or I said 15? I think I said 20 grand.
You said 20.
Yeah, I said 20.
Now, we were talking earlier about that's a step in the right direction for Antonio. If he could take you out, this is a step in the right direction for his career. And Michael King said that step up is more than 19 inches. I'm not sure what that means. But
I have no idea what that. I have no idea.
In other words, well, your standard step is what, 8 inches? 8 inches is a step. So he's saying it's 2.5 steps up, I guess, is the analogy being made there. I think I'm right. We'll go with I'm right and call it good.
I'm gonna get back to Antonio on that one.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is though, Antonio, he's not gonna take me out. He's not. It's gonna take an act of God for him to do that. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna take some years off of him. He's gonna be in there for a fight. He's gonna be lifted. He's gonna be put in some situations that he's never been in before. I can tell you that. It's gonna be 2 bulls clashing. I guarantee you. It's gonna be hard hitting.
I'm going to ask you one favor. You let me get out of the ring before you go after him. That's it. That's all I want. Let me get the hell out of there and then go. Because that ring is not that big. It is 16 by 16 regulation size. But y'all two are huge and I am not. So you're going to let my little ass get up out of the way before y'all two go to crashing. Okay?
You got that. You got that.
I appreciate it. Damn. Let's see here. Our buddy Wesley checking in. He's chiming in from damn it, it's somewhere in Virginia. I can't remember.
Say Ron, West Virginia.
Yeah, he's one of our regular viewers here at the Wrestling Wire. This show's on every Sunday and been that way since January. So this has kind of been my thing. Let's see. Wow, Jimmy Ward said when you were talking about what you're going to do to him. Then the remark. Oh no, that was a remark about who he's associated with, who Brino's associated with. And then Cole chimed in with "stand on your own feet." Bingo. Michael King even said he's talking about me. Well,
Yes,
Ray Charles could have seen
I'm
that.
Talking about you, Michael.
Ray Charles could have seen that. For God's sakes. Oh, here we go. Brino Royce chimed in. Make no mistake, baby, Brino has made himself a staple. Do you not like my business or do you not know my business? We're transparent in what we do. Ask clear questions, fill those ignorant voids. Let's not make any assumptions, though. Love you, brother.
I mean, Reno is cutting clear. You know, that was a contract. You signed it. You had the option to leave. You know, hell, LeBron left Cleveland. It hurt his heart.
Yeah, but he got paid a whole lot more to go somewhere else and sign a contract.
But my question is, Bruno, with that contract you signed, was it worth your soul?
Hey, man, look, you take bookings, right? I take bookings. We all take bookings, right? Most of us do. It's either we take bookings or predominantly it's promoters that watch this show. It's not that many fans. It's more promoters than anything, and I haven't figured out why, but that's cool. It works for me because I get along with them anyway. But the weird thing is, dude, even if we don't agree with somebody on everything they do, we still go work their show. Right?
Yeah.
I do. Well, there you go. I don't have to agree with Michael King to agree to do something for him. I don't have to agree with, man, my phone rings, I'm telling you, my phone rings nonstop throughout the week. And these days, it's one of 3 people calling me. One of those 3 is Brino. And it will be whether he wants counsel on something, he wants an idea to be bounced off of me or whatever. It's just the way it goes. I mean, whether, I got no problem with Michael King because I can understand Michael King. Not a lot of people can understand that man. And it's not because of his Asian accent either. It's because he tends to speak on a higher intellectual level, and it's very hard to pull sarcasm out of what he's saying.
The thing is, he'll do a lot better under my wing than what he would his. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Michael is, schemed a little bit, probably got him in a bad contract, taking a little bit more than what, he's supposed to be taking. Because he has to pay him, right?
I am not privy to the terms or agreements of their deal.
I just feel like I like Bruno. I just don't want him to get, Don King. That's all I'm saying.
It's funny you bring up Don King because Don King did the best thing for boxing by getting it so popular, but then he ruined it all in the same swipe of a pen.
Yeah, but what he did is he stole from my idol, though.
Hey, look, I'm going to go with you on that one because I still say that Mike Tyson is the GOAT. Iron Mike is still the greatest of all time. I'm not going – and look, I love, Rocky Marciano or, guys like that. I went back and watched the footage because obviously I'm young, but, not that. Anyway, I went back and watched footage of a lot of the old fighters. And I mean, Marciano was probably one of my favorites to watch. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson. I enjoyed watching them as fighters. I can't stand watching Mayweather. I don't enjoy that style of fight. I like to see 2 dudes throwing bombs.
I mean, you got to understand, Mayweather, he fights to win. He fights to win his match. Like, no matter, he's probably the greatest technical boxer there ever was.
Oh, no denying that. Not a chance.
But, technical is born. I mean, when you look at basketball, who was one of the greatest point guards ever? John Stockton.
Okay.
And he was as technical and basic as born as can be. But he's one of the greats at that position. So it's like if you're technical like that, you're not going to be pretty. It means you're not going to be entertaining. But I can tell you this though, what Mayweather does, is his mouth.
That was kind of what we came up with when we were having our discussion. Brino, Michael King, and myself. They redid their contract signing live with the broadcast with me. It wasn't the Wrestling Wire, but it was in the same platform. But at any rate, we were discussing, good guys and bad guys in wrestling versus good guys and bad guys in other sport. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. It's not whether or not people like them or not. It's whether or not they're supposed to be the bad guy or not in wrestling. Whereas in other sports, you had Dennis Rodman on the same team with Michael Jordan. And Dennis Rodman was one of the most hated people in the NBA, period, if not one of the most hated people, period. And then you had Michael Jordan, who was like the most beloved guy of all time in that sport. So I kind of put it like that.
But you gotta understand that may be the narrative that that was created. I mean, when you look at behind, because every it's like every industry has their behind the scenes,
right?
They're behind the curtain. And for me, like, just kind of, I can understand how Michael was. I mean, I don't know if you watched The Last Dance, but I don't think he probably was the most favorite person, one of the most favorite people to play with. Whereas, maybe Rodman on the surface would have been probably the more fun, the more better teammate than what Michael was. Because, at the end of the day, there is a narrative that's created, that's kind of presented out to us that we see and, we kind of, go with. I mean, just think about it. All up until now, I thought Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were like the best of friends. You could agree, right?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, but they hate each other now. So, it's like I said, it's just that narrative that was created, that kind of, it's all about the narrative.
Well, I mean, Michael Jordan kind of pulled that old school indie wrestling guy who's been around for 80 years out. Retire, unretire, retire, come back, retire, come back, switch teams, come back, retire, not on back. He did that so many times that kind of pissed people off too.
Well, Michael, I can tell you honestly. I mean, the thing is, Michael Jordan, he was forced to retire the first go around. He was forced to retire.
How?
I mean, I would have to really get you. I mean, if you watch I think it was like, put it like this here. I mean, I don't know the full exact story, but just kind of overhearing, when they talk about like Michael, because they always talk about the debate of Michael Jordan and LeBron, and they'll bring up when Michael retired the first time, and you'll always hear a comment that say, "Well, he was forced to retire. He didn't retire on his own." You would have to go look it up and look up the story. I mean, like I said, I don't deep dive into things like that, as much as I do wrestling. Like I deep dive into wrestling if I deep dive into that.
Right. But see, and that was bringing me up towards, we mentioned the whole thing with Rodman and Jordan, but look at Mayweather. He's the bad guy, but constantly wins, but he's only the bad guy to certain people. Same with Conor McGregor or, any of the UFC fighters. It's the same ball game. In my book, when it comes to their good guys versus bad guys type of thing.
Yeah.
So, gonna catch up on comments because we're falling behind here. Glad AWL gets credit for Tyson's first South Carolina match. Fuck yeah, says Jimmy.
Yeah, I've been having my license for a little minute.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've been having.
How in the world are you not booked?
I mean, it kind of like I'm booked everywhere else, and so when I talk to a promoter and I ask them what they have, sometimes it would never coincide with what I have open.
That makes sense.
And so it's kind of like you just have to keep trying, and hopefully something will match up, and finally something matched up.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's cool. Wesley Flasky said he knocked it down to 5 instead of 19. It's down to 5 now. Talking about the steps. And Norfolk, that's where he's at, Norfolk, Virginia. I couldn't remember the name of that city. I know, and I've been there. I know that place. Let's see here. Sometimes loyalty is better than money. Going back to that contract. LeBron took that money because they had Shaq and D Wade. Okay.
But Shaq was gone. Yeah, Shaq
You're
was gone.
educating me on that, buddy, because
Yeah,
I don't.
Shaq was going. He was boxing D Wade.
I had tried to watch. I think I've watched a couple Wizards game in the last couple years, but that's about it. Like after the Bulls, like and the original Space Jam, like
Yeah.
I didn't have much to watch. I was watching. I can tell you when I was during John Wall. You remember John Wall?
Yeah, John
That's why I was
Wall.
watching the Wizards.
Yeah, he's stuck in Houston.
A lot of
he-
things get stuck in Houston.
Yeah, they him and they were trying to trade him and Westbrook. They were talking about trying to swap them two. Because like
Gotcha.
John Wall has a close to $40 million contract still. He getting paid.
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
Yeah,
Kylan Disney, he's a local referee of the area. He's saying, "What's up, folks?" I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
oh nah, you good, man. I'm trying to I'm on my phone. I'm trying to read the comments, and I got to zoom in and see.
Yeah, Brino's soul belongs to Brino. Try to name another indie wrestler with corporate endorsement. Can't do it. Only Brino. I handle business. As a matter of fact, this comment was brought to you by Parks Buick GMC of Greenville, South Carolina. Tyson, the offer to wear my brand's stands. Michael King says Uncle Don. Let's see here. I can appreciate, but I assure you nobody's taking advantage of the kid. Iron Mike is the GOAT, per Wesley. That's right. The difference is that those guys were smart prize fighters with showmanship. Tyson wasn't getting paid by the hour. That's right. Kobe 824 GOAT, LA for life. No.
I'm a Kobe fan. I'm a big Kobe fan. So
I don't.
Depending on how I feel, I'll put him number one.
And all right, like I said, I haven't really paid attention since the 90s, and we're in the 2022s, so I don't know what that 20 years with the same team. Why not have both? Oh, it says Brino. I don't know what he's talking about. Why not have both? Oh, have the sponsor, the soul, and the sponsorship, I guess. Wesley chimed in. Took less money to stay with LA. Okay.
He almost left. Well, he almost left. But when they got Paul Gasol, when they started putting the team around him, that's when he ended up staying.
Gotcha. Michael King says Brino Royce is a genius. Let's see here. Oh, HBT, Harry Bernard Taylor from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. He was forced into retirement by the commissioner. They didn't like the gambling he was doing outside of the sport. They were serious about that stuff back then.
Yes.
Right, that makes sense, but I mean, look, I can't get down with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Pete Rose is still banned. Yeah,
That's two different sports. What's
that's baseball.
shit? What's that? That's that damn I had heard this interview with this mafia guy. Oh yeah, Michael Francis. He was a mafia guy. He was telling some stories about well, he didn't give any names, but he had some players, shedding points and doing things like that because they had gambling debts with him.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
saving points.
I don't know if people are into that stuff. Like I'm into that too. I'm into like listening to mafia guys talk about stuff like that. Like you ever seen Goodfellas? You ever seen Goodfellas?
Yeah, like all right. One of my favorite shows to watch, period, was The Sopranos. I love that show from start to finish. I still listen to the music from Dean Martin and the Frank Sinatra. I still listen to all that old, gangster bag shit, man.
Yeah,
That's the real gangster shit.
Like I said, I don't know. Well, they may have had someone who's probably listening. They've seen the Goodfellas. It was a segment where they was in the bar, or whatever. He was like naming the different mobsters, and he actually named the guy Michael Francis. Like he was actually portrayed in Goodfellas, and he's an actual real person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jimmy Ward says he caught my eye on Brino's page, so that's actually where Jimmy Ward saw you, was Brino's page.
Yeah, like I said, when I met Brino, I met him in Augusta. Fly cat. Like I said, I dig his wardrobe. It's like I said, it's just that Brino is talented, and I know that he can, he can do better. He's gonna play. He's going through a phase right now, but when he gets there, he'll understand what I'm talking about later on down the line.
Wesley chiming in, Shaq, D Wade, and Bosch.
Nah, I think Shaq was gone. Well, Shaq wasn't there the championship year. Shaq was probably in Boston or something.
Look, y'all are talking outside of my knowledge.
I want to say Shaq was gone. Shaq was there with D Wade when D Wade was when Shaq left the Lakers, he went to Miami with D Wade. I don't know if D Wade was a rookie or was he 1 year in because they won a championship there. But after that, hell, Shaq was with Boston, the Phoenix Suns. I think he played with LeBron in Cleveland too. Before that, like I said, yeah.
White, possibly. Let's see. Brino met Tyson by rolling with me and Zay Vega. All right. That's what Michael King had to say. Wester said, yes, sir. 5 rings, 20 years on the same team. No one mentions Magic. This is a wrestling show. Tyson ever worked Kerry Morton?
Nah, haven't worked Kerry Morton, but I was trained by Robert Gibson though. So that's kind of like the closest I've gotten to that. Like I said, we probably skipped over like my training and everything.
Yeah, we missed that part.
Stuff, but as far as like my training, I started at George South for 3 months. So I was in Charlotte for my girlfriend. She had an internship in Charlotte, so I was there, and that's when I actually started. It was kind of Cedric Alexander was actually the one who took me to George South. So I was there for the summertime, and then once I went back to Louisiana, because that's where I'm originally from, and then when I moved to Florida, I was kind of freelancing, kind of learning on my own, and then when I moved to Atlanta, I was training at where it was called One Fall Power Factory at the time. It wasn't the Nightmare Factory, it was One Fall.
Okay.
I trained over there with QT for about 2 years, and then I left and went to Japan for 3 months. While I was at the 01 dojo. I trained there, and then when I came back from Japan, I started training with Robert Gibson, and I want to say I'm actually the last person that Robert's trained.
Wow, that's a hell of
I was there until he ended up closing the school down. So I want to say I may be wrong, but I may be right. I think I may be the last one he's trained, and I also trained in Mexico with Ricky Marvin and Hidi Caraway.
Gotcha. R.I.P. Ray Liotta. Yes, it sucks he died. He was actually filming another movie, and he died overnight in his hotel room.
Oh wow! Yeah, I saw that he died. I just didn't know how.
He was filming a movie in another country, or Caribbean or Puerto Rico or something. I don't remember. But anyway, he was somewhere else, and they went to bed, and he was dead when everybody else woke up. He died in his sleep. Harry Bernard Taylor. This guy's an encyclopedia of information, I will tell you now. Pete Rose betting on baseball, which is a sport he was actively coaching in. Jordan was gambling on his golf games and card time games. Okay, yeah, I get it, but still, I don't think Pete Rose should still be banned, but that's just me. I trust me when I tell you I really don't have a dog in that fight.
I mean, when you think about it, like at that point in time, there was so much integrity in almost in every sport back then,
right?
And so with that happening right there, it was kind of I want to say it was probably new, as far as someone betting on the sport that they played. Because I mean, when you look at it now, you know, you can actually what sports gambling is legal. So I mean,
Right.
that's probably why. I mean, if yeah, they should go back and amend that and let him in the Hall of Fame.
Now, I will go ahead and say this. Everything is legal now if you pay enough taxes on it. Okay. We can fix that shit today because just about everything is legal anymore if you pay enough taxes into it.
Yeah.
Look at, you know, whether it's I don't want to go into any off the wall topics, but if you wanted to look at like legalization, go to a different state where the taxes are higher and they charge for that shit. Or, you know, gambling. You can pay through DraftKings or somebody else who is based in another area where it is legal. You know, so everything's legal if you're willing to pay for it. Is the way I look at it.
True.
Wesley, oh wait, nope, I missed one. Let's see here. Shaq was retired at that time. The last team he played fifth was the Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
Wesley says you're his new favorite, and I'll go ahead and tell you why. Because you were trained by Hoot. So he is. Look, these are the comments. Rock and Roll Express for life. Ask, yeah. The Rock and Roll Express is his thing, man. Like he loves that old school stuff. But catching up on some other comments here. Let's see. Have you ever wrestled Landon Hale, DC?
Landon and I trained together. Landon and I do have a match in training that was recorded.
Okay.
But I actually have the match. I never uploaded it to my YouTube channel, mainly because, you know, I guess I have a tendency, like when I'm training, I won't post videos of me training, you know. Because I mean, granted, you know, like with wrestling, you know, you can't put the tube back in the toothpaste. But I try to protect certain things over certain, like, you know, like
I get it. Look, it's weird for me to watch a video with me on it. Okay, that's already weird, but it's, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying because you're talking about letting out secrets from behind the scenes.
Yeah, but Landon and I, like, like I said, I was the last guy that came in. Like Landon was already training with Robert when I got there, and I was one of the last ones to come in. But yeah, but Landon and I, we trained together. He not so long ago moved away. Yeah, and APCW kind of, you know, like I said, Robert ended up closing his doors, so he and I never got a chance to have that match.
Yeah,
it may happen, you know, somewhere down the line. Hell, it may happen. Cause like I said, I'm all over. I may end up going where he's at.
He's up north because he just wrestled in New York or New Jersey recently, like the last week.
Yeah, well, he was I think it was Buffalo. He was in Buffalo.
Yeah,
and I was actually in Queens. And like I was in Queens, and I want to say he was going to a Jay Lethal seminar because we had talked or whatever. We were gonna try to meet up, but like I said, the time he got out there, he probably would have wanted to sleep or whatever. And like I wasn't staying in Times Square. I was staying in Jamaica, Queens this time, and the Jace from Jamaica. What's wrong? Oh, that's my dog. Oh. Oh man. but it was a far commute. It's a far commute from Jamaica, Queens to Manhattan. So I ended up, like we said, we didn't get a chance to meet.
Gotcha. It would be sweet for you to beat up Ricky Morton's kid.
Well, I mean, if the money is there, you know, it'll happen. I'd hate to do it, but you know, it is what it is. It's all business.
Gotcha. Let's see here. What year did you start and when did you leave Louisiana?
I started training in May of 2016. So I trained from May of 2016 to August of 2016. And I left Louisiana January 2017. And I still, like I
Okay.
said, I'm booked in Louisiana actually this weekend.
Oh, nice.
And black woman.
Not a big fan of the area. I have a bit to deal with there on another, not in wrestling, but in a different world that I have to deal with, and it's just never fun. It's never a good exchange to deal with Louisiana for anything, or Alabama for that matter. Um, Not a fan of that. But it is what it is. I'm sure wrestling wise, it's got to be better than what I deal with.
Uh, well, you know, something with the commission, like they have a real strict commission.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strict. So
All right.
that's probably want to say the hardest things, you know, you have to deal with, because you know you have to get a license, you have to present blood work and all of that stuff. So
Man. Let's see here. Let's see. Is that Robert's son he took a picture with when I seen him in Norfolk Sculpt? He was in full wrestling gear. Robert introduced him as his son. I have no idea what you're talking about, Wes.
I have no idea either.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, man, that's cool that you did a lot of training and traveling. And that also in my book helps a lot of guys. Uh, they get a lot of different experiences from different areas and what works in different areas. And just because something works in one state doesn't mean it's not, it'll work in another. But at the same time, there's also the ability for bringing new things to an area that's generally not used there and could get over and work.
Yeah. That's like kind of the one thing I try to tell people. Like I really do kind of correlate pro wrestling with martial arts. Because when you look at Bruce Lee didn't have one master. And Bruce Lee was, you can say, one of the most skilled fighters of, well, he's probably the most skilled fighter that we can think of, because he's with other people. And that's kind of like how I view wrestling. So it's like, I'll pretty much train with anyone and pull something. I'll pull anything from there and I add it to what I do. So that's like my advice, to the people that are coming up. I mean, I've only been doing this 5 years. I don't know everything, and I don't consider myself a vet, but I can say this, so learn as much as you can from whoever, actually knows what they're talking about.
That's another one, is weeding through the bullshit, as we like to say.
I train with QT, and I trained with Robert Gibson, from two different eras of wrestling.
Yeah.
Two different styles, two different ways of doing things. And, so I found like what worked here and what worked for me there. And I just added it, mixed it all in. That's like, we're like kind of like what I learned in Japan. Now, granted, when I came back from Japan, I was wrestling like them, and wrestling like them didn't kind of translate over to here. I had to start kind of really implementing and finding a character within myself, like my personality, like start to let my personality show. And that kind of, that's one of the main things I can sit there and say, like with wrestling, you need to have some type of personality, some type of aura about yourself that's gonna draw, people to you and make them want to see you.
Right. So in prime example, I'm a ring announcer, but I also walk around and mess with the crowd. Like especially prime example, show was running we'll say a little bit behind. It's 6:58, bell time 7:00, and we have 3 wrestlers in the back. Nobody showed up yet. They were coming, but they just weren't there, and I needed to kill time. So I'm naturally a smartass, or and sarcastic and all that. I just went out and started messing with the crowd, talking to them and laughing and carrying on, and burned up a good 10, 15 minutes just to make it, give me a little bit of leeway to get more guys in the back so we could get these things going.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. My bad, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's kind of like some of the things, where, when you look at the many jobs in pro wrestling that goes on with the show, like a lot of announcers won't do that. You know, like they just
I
kind of
didn't in the beginning.
huh?
I did not in the beginning. In the beginning, I walked in and said what I had to say, read my card, and I was out. I was not talking with the crowd or interacting.
Exactly, but you know what I'm saying, through experience, you kind of gain that, and like that, you added and you did your part, your portion of the show. And that's like, you know, that's like with referees. Like the one thing I tell a referee, be a ref. I want you to be a unit of authority figure in our match. Be a ref. Like I can't stand a ref that just kind of gets out of the way, and I hate that, because I'm like, well, what are you here for if you're not gonna, you know, if you're not gonna do what you're supposed to do? Like, you know, you have to be an authority figure. You have to understand that you have the power. If I don't like something and I quote unquote hit you, I lose the match, and I don't want to lose the match. So, no, throw your weight around. Do what you're supposed to do. You know, that's the one thing I try to tell them. But then again, you know, you have a lot of guys when it goes, you know, they're kind of like assholes to the refs or whatever. So, like I said, I'm the complete opposite. So, whoever's reffing my match, they better do their job.
Yeah, especially in your case, because I mean, like, if I can see it now, you and Antonio just brawling and beating the brakes off each other, and the ref does what? Is the ref just going to stand there and wait until somebody gets knocked out and call it good? Then no, because that's not going to be a good matchup. It's not a fist fight; it's a wrestling match. But adding in some comments here, South Carolina has a lazy commission. Yes, it is a money grab for us.
I mean, I can partially disagree with that, because, you know, one thing I noticed, like with South Carolina, when you have to get a physical, you have to use their form.
Right.
Their form, and then, you know, it has to be a doctor. It can't be the assistant, you know, and stuff like that. And you have to, like, it's like saying, like, because I've gotten physicals before, and when I thought about getting when I got thinking about getting a South Carolina license, I look up and like, oh, I have to pay for another physical, because I can't go back to this doctor that I got a physical from 2 days ago to just sign another paper over. I'm gonna have to take another physical. You follow what I'm saying?
I get that, but the enforcement of their rules that they try to dictate is garbage. They don't enforce their own. They turn a blind eye to the bullshit and let it go. They let dumb shit go. Or let me rephrase that. They will complain more about stupid stuff than they will about real actual issues. Is the best way to put that commission. They are lazy in that regard. Let's see.
I know getting a license is hell.
Yeah, this is true. Dude, I don't even want to go there. I had to have mine overnighted because we had a show coming up very early in January. So I paid the express fees, next day shipping, all that mess. I'm not driving to deliver it by hand. So I just paid for it to be done. Casey Leanne chimed in saying facts, talking about how lazy the commission is. Harry says Louisiana guys are tough, and some of my toughest bout against are from fighters from that state. Let's see. Hashtag Saint. That's right, Wes. That's me. This is the real Drago. He said, "What's up, everybody?" I'm gonna tell you what. A matchup between you and him would probably be money. That'd be a good fight right there. Because I saw him in action myself. I haven't seen you in action other than, you know, a couple clips online, right? I'm gonna tell you what. Two bulls that move like y'all, you know, move like Antonio. Yeah, let's go.
Taylor, put it like this. I would love that match, but not under that banner. That makes sense.
I understand.
There we go.
I understood exactly what you said. Let's see here. Good call, Earl Hebner. Yeah, Earl Hebner was pretty good about it. Jimmy said, I hope Tyson likes loud rock and roll.
It like I listen to like pretty much all music, really.
Yeah.
It probably would surprise you what's actually on my playlist.
I'm just going to say likewise and call it good. Because I my stuff goes from like Dean Martin to Marilyn Manson to Eminem to whatever. I mean, it doesn't phase me. Music is music, and just because you're from one area doesn't mean you have to like one type of music.
Yeah.
But let's see. There are shows that have wrestlers without a license in South Carolina. Yeah, that's kind of my point. The big ticket items they ignore, and they harp about the little minuscule bullshit. That was exactly my point.
Well, the funny part about it is I could not get booked in South Carolina until I had that license.
Yeah, some promoters.
But then again, like the testaments that can kind of show you like the promotion that was in the show. So that's a good. That's I understand that. Like the first thing is, are you licensed in South Carolina? No, I'm not. Well, no, get licensed. And then I'm pretty sure if I was to wrestle on the show, knowing that South Carolina requires a license, they're not requiring me to get a license, I can understand how that experience may go.
So yeah, let's just say that some promoters are stricter or more strict about it than others, and some promoters don't give a shit. So the ones that don't give a shit are the ones you got to watch out for, because that if they don't care about the rules, that means they also don't care about your ass. So,
but see, I've never encountered any of them. So,
well, yeah. So, this is. Don't worry, we've got plenty of time to talk. Not just here and not on air, but we've got plenty of time to talk.
Yeah,
dude.
like it may be like one of my good buddies, Lamar Diggs. He was like, that may be a T-shirt promotion.
I wouldn't. Maybe a drink coaster promotion.
A drink coaster.
Yeah,
no,
coaster.
No. What do you mean by I don't know. What do you mean by T-shirt promotion? Means that everybody on the fly has on the T-shirt.
Yeah, I get that. Well, how about they can't afford T-shirts, so they make drink coasters instead? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, trust me. Don't worry, buddy. We got plenty of time outside of this show to speak truth on. We can say certain things here, but there are certain lines I don't cross on this show. I promise you that. There are some people that aren't worth wasting my breath on air for. Let's see here. Wesley says, I love that Tyson's humble, but will whip your ass. There you go. That's right.
That's, that's, oh, yeah. You talking about all music is good music.
Yeah, all music is good. Love every genre. That's right. Yes, Wesley, he's in the South. He works the South, man. Look, don't worry. Wes, you will know exactly where to find him in the South in just a few minutes, because I'm fairly confident we are burning up a lot of this man's time today. The Real Drago even said, I like Tyson. He's a beast. And Wesley said he was having a drink and smoking. Man, I just drank a beer and I'm sitting here with my hitter. So, oh, dude, look, he's already YouTubing your matches. Yeah, man.
Man, I have a lot he can check out. I even have my first ever match on there.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, look, where can we see you? Anybody out there watching? Where can we see you? And we're working our way to the poster I have to show.
Man, okay. Well, next weekend I'm in Louisiana at Pro Wrestling 225 in Plaquemine, Louisiana. Father's Day weekend, I'm taking that weekend off. June 25th, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee with TCW. July 9th, I'm with Universal Championship Wrestling in Hampton, Georgia. I'm there the July 9th and July 10th, and I also have a double shot July 9th in Athens, Georgia with Classic Championship Wrestling. Then I'm coming whoop up on Antonio July 23rd. August 6th, I'm in Eufaula, Alabama. August 13th, I'm in Martinsburg, West Virginia. August 20th, I'm in See No Evil in Lincolnton, North Carolina. August 27th, I'm in Florida with Movement Championship Wrestling. Yeah, that's I keep it busy. I keep a busy schedule. I'll be here naming all. I be naming all day what I have going on. Just pretty much if y'all have Instagram or Twitter, it's Tyson Maddox. No spaces, no dots. It's all one word. I have a pro wrestling tee store where you can check out. That's also attached to my my Instagram and my Twitter page. Like I said, I post workout videos. I post clips of my wrestling matches. My YouTube channel, which is easy to find, just type in Tyson Maddox. That's why I pretty much upload all my content. A wrestling match. You can go back and see from my first one, and as soon as I get the video from the match I had yesterday, they'll be uploaded on there as soon as I get it.
Gotcha. Now, Martinsburg, West Virginia, I know that area. I built houses there 2005, 2006, somewhere back in that era. I worked on a couple of houses up there. Not a place I want to go back to, but West Virginia wasn't that bad. I just don't want to go up there and work anymore. The money wasn't worth it.
I went there. Matter of fact, last year I went there. Like I flew into DC and drove there. Or whatever.
Yeah. What'd you land in? Reagan National?
It looks very colonial there. Like, when you look at the history books, like it looks like you're about to have Paul Revere ride through on a horse. The British are coming. That's exactly how it looks.
It does. What'd you land at? Reagan National?
Yeah, I think I flew in I flew in the Reagan.
So next time, fly into Dulles.
No, it was Dulles. It was Dulles. My bad.
Okay. Oh, then that was easy. You just went straight up Route 7.
Yeah. Because when you pretty much fly to that area, you got to check Baltimore, you got to check Reagan, and you got to check Dulles. I mean, that's typically what I like. I check all three of them because I just find the cheaper ticket, and I'll just let the promoter know, hey, this is the cheapest one I found. I have I'm pretty easy to work with when it comes to that.
Yeah, well, by the time you fly into Baltimore, BWI, or Reagan and fight the traffic to go over and then up and then over some more, because if you're coming in from that side, you got to go up 270 through Bethesda and all that bullshit, and then cut across Pointer Rocks.
Oh,
and that takes forever. Like, I know the area. I'm from Arlington. Like, I was born in Virginia, dude. Like, I know that area. I spent a lot of time on Route 7 and 66 and 50 and all that mess right there by Dulles. Dude, I used to hang out there. So, yeah, I know that area.
It's Sheets. That's the gas station there, right? The Sheets.
Hell yeah, Sheets and Wawa.
Yeah, well, yeah. I associate Wawa with Florida.
Well, see, Wawa started in PA.
Oh, it did. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, because whenever when I was living in Florida, that's why I first saw Wawa.
Yeah.
And so when I went on the that way, I saw Sheets in DC, that area by Dulles.
Yeah.
Because I want to say obviously when you was there, it was a long time ago. I stayed in a hotel not too far from the airport.
Okay. Like I said, man, that's my area. I know a lot of that, and then because I lived in Maryland, Southern Maryland at that, so I lived on the water right there in the Chesapeake Potomac area.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, I know. I could put you on some pretty good spots in that area, but man, when it comes to Virginia, that place has changed so much since I've been there. I ain't been there in years. Like, not to that area of Virginia, Northern Virginia. I ain't been there in probably 4 or 5 years or better.
Yeah.
But we're going to throw this poster up, man. Let's take a look at this. 52 reasons.
52. That's one of the mini posters.
Yeah.
I saw like 3 different designs.
Yeah, this the one I like, especially it fits this interview, The Rock and wrestling, you know. And it's got the main event is Antonio Morgan versus Tyson Maddox. Man, that is gonna be a hell of a show. So the party starts at like 6. The band starts at 7. The wrestling's either at 8 or 8:30. It's gonna be all time of the night. I am traveling back for that. I am traveling back for that event there. Because I will be on the road myself 2 weeks before that. So
Okay.
I'll be making my way back to the Carolinas. But either way, man, thank you very much for joining me. If you have anything else you want to say, brother, you are more than welcome to say it.
I probably we spent a whole hour. I don't want to say too much more. You know, like I said, I'm looking forward to July 23rd. You know, all bullshit aside, you know, like I said, Antonio, you know, he's a good opponent. I hope I didn't talk down on him a little bit much, but I'm gonna whoop his ass though. It's gonna be like, you know, big brother whooping little brother. That's what we're gonna call it. Big brother whooping little brother.
Right. All right, and I believe before you get out of here, we are having one more person that's going to jump into this, I think. So hang tight just one moment.
We got a surprise guest.
Yeah. No, I will tell you, it's not Antonio Morgan. It's not Antonio. Bill Hazelwood chimed in to say, talked only an hour, rookie.
Man, look, I keep y'all here all day, man, because I can talk, you know. So like once the conversation get going, like I said, we usually spur what majority of the conversation we kind of didn't even talk about wrestling. We're talking about
everything,
other stuff. So like you say,
See where we are. Wesley was chiming in saying you either have Quick Trip or Wawa, depending upon where you live. Yeah, we got QT here.
And QT. What's the Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. I've been to Royal Farms. You ever been to a Royal Farms?
Man, did I? I don't know.
Look. The only thing I'm gonna tell you about the farm store is that it's up north more, I think. But the only thing I can tell you about the Royal Farms, at least the ones I went to, I'm not a big proponent of eating a bunch of gas station trash food. Royal Farms did have some good fried chicken. I will say that much.
Which one is it? Which one is in Tennessee? It's a lot of stores in Tennessee.
I have been to Tennessee one time for a weekend in my life. I have no clue what's in Tennessee, dude.
Like I said, I've only been there twice, and like it was a gas station where I got some peanut butter. Was it peanut butter chocolate milk? Yeah, it was peanut butter chocolate milk. Man, that was good, man. It was at a gas station. I can't remember the name of the gas station.
Well, let's see here. Checking in. School of Morton going live after Ron. I'm holding it down till 7 cities. Norfolk. Gotcha. Right on, man. You hold it down. That's right. Promote this shit. Share this show. Yeah, that's how we do things.
Seafood. And seafood real big in
Yeah. And then we have 7-Elevens on every corner where they are. Yeah, there's a lot of 7-Elevens up there. But
yeah, man, when I was in Japan, that was like my little store, the 7-Eleven.
Right on.
They have a bunch of those in Japan. Like I stayed getting food from there.
All right. Well, before you head out, we're gonna go ahead and add our next guest to the show today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Pro Wrestling Union owner and promoter, Mr. Cole Maccabee.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I've had a tired weekend. I went from Lexington to Charleston, Charleston to Florence, Florence to where I am right now, which is at the little lake getaway. So I got Lake Murray right across the street from me. And then I'm going to be heading back to Lexington this evening. So a lot of traveling.
Yeah, that's the life. That's
Yeah,
the life, ain't it?
No, it's not the life. I
No,
want to
no, no, not the life. That's our life.
I want to stay here at the lake where I can see the water, where it's quiet. Like right now, it's quiet.
Right?
And I made sure to relocate so that way Derek Vanderver couldn't find my little hideaway spot too. So I also got 2 Dobermans too. So if he happens to see them, he'll be greeted very warmly.
Yeah, hopefully by warm slobber and hot teeth. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Preferably biting him squarely on the ass.
Yes.
Exactly. So what's up, sir?
Nothing much. So I was listening into the interview right here with Mr. Tyson Maddox. I know he's actually got several big matches. There's not just one big match. He's got several things that are going on. Congratulations to you, sir, on everything that you're doing. I hope you continue all the great work. But I can't wait to see that match on July 23rd, since I will be there in person to check that out. But several things that we got coming up. Ron, you know about a benefit show that we're doing for a cancer patient in Union, South Carolina. That's actually coming up this coming weekend as part of the Jacob Casey benefit for cancer. All the proceeds go to him and his family for his current cancer treatment. And I got approached for that, so we were happy to be doing that for them and help them raise money. I'm also wearing 2 hats today because not only am I representing Pro Wrestling Union as the owner promoter, but I'm also representing Classic Pro Wrestling as still the person that holds the title of commissioner after all these years, being put on the back burner. So, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Right. Ron, I can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
I hit the mute button while other people are talking, so that way.
Actually, go back to the mute button. That sounded better.
Yeah, there we go. I try to mute myself so that way if any background noise or anything happens in the house while other people are talking, I don't disrupt them. So I try to be polite and courtesy. That's weird for me, right?
I throw my kids outside. I say, hey, look, there's sand, there's trees, play. That's what I do.
Well, see, mine have to clean the house, so they have to clean their rooms. So that's what they're on test with.
I got a 5 and a 3-year-old. If I tell them to clean, they just look at me and they just go, I'm tired. And then they go to bed.
Oh, well, I got a 9 and a 6-year-old. I make it easy. If it's not clean by the time my show's over, your TV's getting moved to my office. So
they have TVs. Mine haven't got to that age yet. I'm not getting there.
I've put more value in my living room than I do their bedroom. So yes.
I treat my kids like my parents treated me when I was a kid. It's like, when can I get a TV? When you get a job. So that's kind of all these times I thought my parents were just cruel to me, and then I realized when I get older, I'm like, everything they want costs a lot of money. So it's like.
So here's the thing. At 4 years old, I found an old television, and everybody was like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Cool. I've sat down and fiddled with it for I don't know how long, but eventually I got it to work just in time to watch Jaws on Fox 5 when I was a kid. And I was like, hey, I fixed it. So that was my TV. And this thing was this big. The screen was like that. Yeah. It was one of them little portable TV radio job gimmick thing. I don't know what it was. It was a piece of crap. But I figured it out and I made it work. So from there on, that's how I got stuff. Like if I wanted a TV, I would do that. Or, eventually, the Santa Claus came in or whatever. Right. But that was my TV when I was a kid. It's something I found. What time is Hell in a Cell? Pre-show starts at 7. Pay-per-view starts at 8. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Premium live event starts at 8 p.m. The premium live event. They're no longer called pay-per-views.
That's right. That's right. You
But
got
either
it
way,
right.
Mr. Maddox, I'm gonna let you go. Unless you want to hang out, it doesn't matter, man. It's up to you.
My son, which is my dog, he's looking at me. I need to go take him out.
All right. Well, sir, I greatly appreciate your time being here with us today. That was awesome. So I'm sure we'll speak again soon, and if not, I look forward to seeing you in action the 23rd at the Welford Pavilion, the 23rd of July at the Welford Pavilion in Welford, South Carolina, American Wrestling League.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It was fun.
Hey, no problem, sir. Thanks again. Take it easy.
I bet you too.
All right, Mr. McAbee. How are you doing?
Oh, like I said, I'm just tired. As you can see, I got the bags around the eyes and everything like that. I just had a really long weekend, so you know.
I understand that it's hot out there too.
Yeah,
Well, it
but
wasn't bad this weekend though.
I mean, it wasn't bad Saturday. At one point, I thought it was going to rain while we were in Florence, but it ended up not raining, so which was kind of nice. But the bugs, dear Lord, the gnats. Like I'm surprised that I'm able to like see anything clearly because I probably like pulled like anywhere between 20 to 30 different gnats out of my eyeballs because they kept flying right into them and everything like that. But no. But how are you,
Right.
sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I spent the majority of my weekend or the majority of my Saturday working on the machine to get it back up and running. Because we've got ground to prep. Got a birthday party to build for, so working on that. And surprisingly and thankfully, the first weekend off. No bookings this weekend. So
Okay, well that's good.
I
That's really
I
good.
was actually surprised and like, wait. I don't have to travel this weekend. I'm good with this.
See, it gets nice, like especially the now. See, you're lucky that you have locked yourself into like the ring announcer's position because not a whole lot of wear and tear on the body and everything like that, unless I strap a camera to your hand like I did one time, and
I'm making investments towards that as well.
yeah,
I am
so
making investments. I'll have to show you some of the stuff I've come up with.
cool. But no, that was like actually one of the things I didn't miss when I made the transition into becoming a promoter or a booker or anything like that because the wear and tear on the body, especially after so many years and stuff like that, is just it's horrendous. Because like even now, even though I don't physically do anything to risk my body, or my health or anything like that, still the fact that I just feel every single bit of like parts of my body that I have hurt over the years, like my knees, my back, my shoulders, my neck. Um, and then I sit there and I watch these guys that I contact, make a connection with them, book them, and I get to watch them over there, and I sit there and I'm like feeling every single every single bit of the blows just by watching it, and it's crazy, and I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I'm glad to be in the position that I'm in right now.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the Jacob Casey June Jamboree cancer benefit that we have going on next weekend. Now, the whole thing, not just the wrestling part, but the whole thing. What time does the whole event start?
All right, so the whole event actually begins at 10 a.m. It's going to be at the Union County Fairgrounds, which is 120 Kirby Street in Union, South Carolina. The fairgrounds is not a hard place to find. Basically, as soon as you get right there into the Duncan bypass area, you'll see where they've got like the Walmart, the Burger Kings, and all that other stuff. That main strip in Union. You'll see it's the big gated in area right there beside the Union County football stadium. They've got like a car show, silent auction. I believe they got some vendors coming in there for food and everything like that. The last time I spoke with the coordinators, I believe they were also trying to get some other live entertainment as well. There was a lot that was going on. And Miss Lona, she's actually the aunt of Jacob. She was able to get in contact with me. and was asking me questions about trying to get a show put in for the benefit and everything. And check my calendar, make sure everything was good to go. And it was very ultra last minute. So I told her, just ahead of time, I was like, because it's last minute and the way that I normally do things, and Ron, you know this, is normally I am so far ahead that I got certain talent that I know for a fact that I'm going to need locked in. So I can't guarantee everybody, especially for very, very short notice. So, like, immediately, the first person I contacted, because it's Union County, it's Black Cat Dion Johnson. Dion was available, and of course, he was happy to do it because he remembers Jacob from when Jacob was coming to, like, the Trans-South Wrestling shows, when, because Trans-South predates Pro Wrestling Union over in Union County. So, that was the thing, and it was just trying to get everybody else in. And luckily, we were able to get 4 matches put together. That's going to be really, really awesome. And I know we talk about Tyson wrestling Antonio Morgan. And I know what Tyson said about the money and all that other stuff, that Derek's going to have to bump up the rate there. But somebody else has already accepted that bounty, and that was Garrett Sinclair, who is a very, very talented professional wrestler in his own right. I remember Garrett from several years ago when he first got started into the business. This was like as soon as I was making my transition out of the in-ring side of things. He was making his way up, and he took some time away, improved himself both spiritually and personally, and got back into training with Lodi over in Matthews, North Carolina. And he's been hitting up these shows up in North Carolina, and he's accepted that challenge. So we might be seeing a lot more of him in Pro Wrestling Union. And if he beats Antonio, he gets the $5,000. But $5,000 nowadays gets you like what, 13 gallons of gas?
Yeah, something like that.
That's why I still drive a Prius, Ron.
Dude, I've told you that you know this personally. You've seen the car.
Yes,
I had to buy my wife another vehicle so that I could stop driving my truck because of gas prices.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though, man. I'm going to tell. It's not a very, very long story, but years ago, I got this Dodge Ram. Wanted the truck, got the truck. Katrina hit. Okay. That's when the gas prices started going up to like $4 automatically, like right after that whole thing. So I was like, so I'm just going to like fill it up one time, park it, and just, whatever. So my parents had this truck for the longest time. My dad's used it and all this other stuff. And since I purchased my own ring and all that other stuff since then, my wife only has her Kia Sorento, which Kia is a piece of crap vehicle. No, I don't care who. If you're a Kia owner, good on you. Okay, Kia is good for cars, but if you got like an SUV, there's a reason why Kias don't make trucks, because they don't make anything that's powerful to load or carry anything. So I was needing the truck back, so that way we could go ahead and get that taken care of. We're like, all right, well, they still have the Dodge Ram. Great. I'm going to reacquire the Dodge Ram. See what gas prices are at right now. So I feel like that truck is cursed when it comes to gas prices.
So, in other words, Dodge means avoid. So you need to avoid driving that. Gas prices weren't bad when I bought my F-150. Gas prices were fine.
No.
It wasn't until you got the Dodge that gas prices went apeshit. So you just need to get rid of the Dodge and get you a better truck.
Even though that's not really the case, that's just how I feel. Because as soon as we talked about, I'm going to get the truck back from my parents, who have had it for a little while, they've used it. I'm like, well, I need it again. They're like, all right, great, come pick it up. All right, great. Next thing you know, I'm like, when did gas prices go from $2 to $4? And I'm sitting here, and I was traveling back from Florence, and that was what I was doing on the way back on the interstate. I was looking at all the price gaps on gas coming from Florence back to Newberry County, which that's the side of Lake Murray that I'm on right now.
Right.
And it is ridiculous the way they was jumping from like 460 something. I actually saw one where it was already at 499 before getting back to Columbia, because I had to blaze through Columbia just to get over here to Newberry and all that good stuff. So I'm like sitting here and I know that the prices are going to get more ridiculous. So getting way off on a tangent here when it comes to the gas prices and not talking about wrestling, but I feel bad for these guys that have got to travel long distances. Hopefully people are able to compensate for the travel a little bit better.
Right. I agree. Once again, that's why I like working with good promoters.
Yeah.
That goes for that. Let's see here. Anyone mentioned the pay-per-view tonight, which will probably be a shit show, but I pay for the Peacock app. I will get to the
Premium
later.
live event.
Yeah, the premium live event later in the show. We've got some stuff we gotta get through some stuff with Mr. Maccabee, and then we will move into the standardized whatever programming. Stop crying. I'm out here putting it in at the pavilion. Yeah, I know.
That's fine.
Jimmy Ward also said, trust me, Cole, we can tell you're no longer physically involved.
I'm still physical enough to whoop that butt. I'll tell you that right now, Jimmy.
All right. Let's see here. Can't wait for this Saturday. Wait a minute. Does that mean that we can get a promoter versus promoter match?
No, I don't think Jimmy can pass the physical. I still can. I mean, I actually had my physical not too long ago, and I passed it with flying colors.
But what do we? Is it? Can we do something like a gimmick or no? A contract on a pole match? Let's do that. Like one wrestler wants to work for both of you.
What's a gimmick? I don't know what that is.
No, a match. A match.
Gimmick. I don't know what that is.
A match with we put the contract on the pole, and the winning promoter who gets up there and gets it, they get to keep it.
This match on the pizzle. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Kylan Disney says, I can't wait for this Saturday. Man, neither can I. I will circle back to that here in just a moment. Jimmy said, I have a Dodge Ram and a Kia Optima, and I'm okay. Well, that's fine. Brino says, my boy Cole.
Your boy. Man, I'm older than you. Man, yeah. You call me sir.
Call me sir. All right. So,
right.
Yeah. So, for everybody interested, this is the flyer for this weekend, man. It's not going down without a fight. June the 11th, right here in Union County, South Carolina, Union County Fairgrounds. $5 admission for this wrestling show. You said you had 4 matches. What are those matchups?
All right, so the 4 matches that we have, I already stated that we have Antonio Morgan will be facing Garrett Sinclair, and this is going to be Derek Vanderford's $5,000 bounty. We'll see what happens with that. We also have a tag team where we have if I'm making sure I'm saying this correctly, the Sloth and Goth Connection. That is
yes.
That is Kay Holiday and Shane Bryan. That's his tag team partner. They're going to be going up against a well-known North Carolina tag team, the Foundation, with Travis and Dylan Dollar there. So that's going to be a really good one. I like Dylan Dollar. I know he's probably hated amongst a lot of wrestling fans, but I absolutely love that guy. As far as
he's great to work with.
Yeah, he knows how to talk, and the thing is you look at him and you look at his size, and he can fool you. he can get up and go.
Yeah.
So another one of the matches, and this is one that I'm very, very proud of and very much look forward to. We have Outlaw Randy Wayne, who beat Antonio Morgan in a Texas Bull Road match not that long ago. That's now on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it on Explosion. He'll be wrestling the Prince of Sports Entertainment, Drew Hood. who is the current Action Packed Wrestling Carolinas champion. There's no affiliation with us having their championship on the line or anything like that. This is just a match between two top guys for the company right now. Drew had a big win against Bam Bam Malone not too long ago, and that really upped his stock over there at Pro Wrestling Union.
Yeah.
And then for the main event, we have Union County's own Black Cat Dion Johnson. He's going to be stepping in the ring with Cam Jackson of Cam Jackson Entertainment. So
that's going to be an interesting match.
Well, see, these two actually have a history with each other. And Ron, you know a little bit about this because of the involvement with Classic Pro Wrestling, which we're going to be getting into in a moment. Because, like I said, I'm wearing two hats today. So these guys actually have history with each other. And I've actually seen these guys get down and dirty. I've seen, like, the Corpus Christi rules street fight over in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where you had Dion and Sweet Dreams as the Soul Patrol against Cam, Tommy Django, and Drew Hood when they were all part of the Three Brothers. So there's a lot of history there. So we're going to see what kind of spills into the ring when these two get back in there together.
Right.
And $5 admission for this, and every single bit of the money for this goes directly to Jacob Casey's cancer treatment. Jacob's a young guy. He's only 22. He's about to turn 23. But he just recently, they found out about the bone marrow cancer and everything like that. And he's been having the treatments. He was doing pretty good last time I was able to check in. But I know that the last time the treatment, which everybody knows cancer sucks. I mean, it's a horrible thing for anybody to go through, no matter the age. But I think like the last round of treatment, it really did a number on him. Took a lot of energy from him. He was starting to have a little bit of hair loss. And I want to think that the count that he had last time was not where it needed to be before another treatment. So they sent him back home, and they were going to try again in a few days. But, I mean, he's fighting it, and the family, have been very supportive, and the community has been very supportive towards him. So we're going to try our best to raise as much money as we possibly can to help out with that because – like I said, cancer sucks, and in the treatment, the chemo and everything like that, this is very costly, especially when you have to factor in the travel because he's having to travel from Union to Charleston over to MUSC for these treatments. And there was even, I believe, a discussion for another type of treatment that he might have to travel to Chicago for. So anything helps. So everything is going for a great cause, and we're happy to be part of this. And God bless Miss Lana. She was willing to kind of help pay because she understands that that it takes money for a wrestling show to happen. She was willing to throw in some money for this, and I told her, no, ma'am. I said, I'm not taking a dime from you. No. I said, these guys, they know exactly what the deal is, and we're happy to do this for them. So,
and I want to talk about that. I think it was either last week or the week before. I brought up that the first ever show I was a part of. I don't remember if you were there or not. It was the one Kyle and Disney put on.
Yeah.
Were you there at Broome High School?
I was not there. I was supposed to, but unfortunately, because of my job situation at the time, that was when I was still working for Lexington County 911, and that was the day that I guess they didn't have enough people to show up. So on my one day off, because I was already worked over, they called me in and basically said, "Hey, you ain't got a choice. You got to come in." So I had to miss out on that.
But I made a remark, and I'll put this up against anything anybody will ever want to say. If this is the last show I ever work, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not mad at it either.
because I've I have lost both parents to cancer,
Right.
and I have got absolutely nothing but love and respect for what these families are going through, and I feel it's not just my pleasure to do this and be involved in one of these. It's like I have to do these. I have to do it. Not because anybody's asking me or anybody tells me or anything. I have to do that.
Yeah.
It's one of the only avenues I have to put my middle fingers in the air at cancer
Right.
is that. That's one of the only ways I can do it. So in my book, these are the type of shows where this is what I love to be involved with.
And this is actually the first benefit show that I've ever had the opportunity to do. We've done similar things in the past with Trans South Wrestling, um, and there was one of the shows that I did for Pro Wrestling Union where we did the concession that like in certain proceeds did go towards like the Miracle League, which is a baseball league uh, for people of physical or mental disabilities in Union County. So we've done stuff like that, but for doing something that's completely this is no profit for us whatsoever. Every single bit of the money is going to the family, and they reached out to me for this because I had no idea that this was going on at first, and like I said, as soon as Miss Alona, she was able to get in contact with me about it, and she told me that yeah, it's like Jacob used to come to the shows. He's a wrestling fan. We would love to have this incorporated with this festival we got going on. And then she was like, let's talk numbers. And I said, we're not talking about numbers. We're
Right.
happy to do this. So
Right. And
so
that's real shit.
yeah, so come on out. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, I'm gonna just throw this out there. If you're not a wrestling fan whatsoever, still just come out just to support a great cause and show support.
Right.
You know,
That's
if I know $5, nowadays $5 is really absolutely nothing nowadays.
yeah, it's a gallon of gas.
Yeah, it's a gallon of gas, but you know what? To this family, $5 is going to mean a lot.
Right. Anything's going to help them with this. Jimmy Ward chimed in. Jimmy Ward is a cancer survivor.
Accuracy.
That's 100% accurate, man. And we hope and pray the best for Jacob. And it's going to be a good show. I'm very excited for this. These are some, like I said, man, these are the ones that, this is for pleasure. It's an honor to do these. So
Absolutely.
I was grateful when you reached out to me and asked me. And thank you again for that.
Thank you.
As you can tell, I'm ready.
And this has always been my philosophy of the thing, and I think this is what makes me a little bit different than some of the other promoters. Not saying every promoter, because I don't think I'm like better than anybody else, to be honest. My philosophy is that I don't have people that work for me, and I will say this until I don't do this anymore. I have people that work with me. I don't feel like I'm above anybody. I don't feel like I'm in charge of anyone. I bring in people who have the same mindset as I do, that have the same passion as I do. And I know some people probably don't see that from me from time to time, unless you just see me just promoting the hell out of my stuff at every chance I get. And apparently, according to one person, I do it way too much. Well, guess what? That's how you get people to come to your shows. You promote. You get people invested in it. And what I put out there, I'm fully behind. And this right here, this coming Saturday on June the 11th in Union, South Carolina, I am 200% behind this. Come out, support a great cause. It's only $5. and you get some good matches. I guarantee it.
All right, let's. We're gonna address the elephant in the room right quick with that one. The reality of professional wrestling, especially independent professional wrestling in today's market, is this: it is oversaturated.
Right.
100%. There are way too many companies throwing way too many shows, and the good talent gets spread thin across a larger margin, and you have to filter it in with a bunch of marginal talent. Am I wrong? Nope.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at
So,
all. And this is a conversation you and I have actually had on quite a few occasions.
right. Now, in the case of somebody saying Cole promotes his stuff too much, that's because there's actually something to fucking promote here. There's actually something worth seeing here. So if you're not on that level with Pro Wrestling Union, then I don't want to hear it. All right. Jimmy Ward is starting over with AWL, right?
Right.
But nonstop we hear about AWL because it's a passion, it's a goal, it is a life.
Exactly.
I'm watching Thomas Scott rebuild from nothing. I'm watching Gary Benfield do the same damn thing. The heart that these promoters are putting into it, if this was shared, independent professional wrestling would run everything. There wouldn't be a need for shit to be on TV. There wouldn't be Monday Night Raw or Wednesday Night Dynamite. It wouldn't exist because everybody would pay to watch their local stuff on a cheaper priced platform.
Right.
And the effort's not there from other people. The effort's there from the few.
Yeah, and I will admit that and everything like that. It is very much, and some people, they don't have to because of the way that their shows are set up. Some. But look at the quality of those shows. And I'm not going to throw any names out there. You know what it is. However, you take a show like Action Pack Wrestling, since they have had Brad Wilson being part of their media team and everything like that, this guy who's a smart guy, very smart guy, take that in consideration with his creativity, and he's taking a product that a lot of people in that area were already used to seeing on a bi-weekly basis, but they were only maybe drawing maybe 50, 60, 70 people a crowd. The talent and the passion was already there with those guys. In all honesty, the people who put it together, William Roberts, who is a great guy and I love him to death. Sometimes they were on, sometimes they were off, and it had nothing to do with the actual content of the show. People just knew it was there. But he threw in that little extra something, and he was promoting it. If you actually pay attention to the last few months with Action Packed Wrestling, they've had standing room only in that small building of theirs. Standing room only. And that was the only thing they changed, was just the marketing. Everything else pretty much stayed the same. Consistent good booking with good talent, ran by somebody who is passionate enough for this business and trusted people that could put great matches together. And they're kicking ass. Okay?
Right. I 100% agree.
Right.
I have yet to make it to one of their shows. That is of my own fault at this point.
You need to, man. If you can get over to Chester on a Friday night, on one of the nights they're running, dude, they're kicking ass. And this is the other thing. This is coming from another promoter and everything like that. I acknowledge when people are doing good stuff, and Action Pack Wrestling, Chester, South Carolina, doing great stuff.
Right. As yet again, it's on the list of places I need to travel to.
And I'm gonna be. And you mentioned Gary. I'm gonna be at High Velocity Wrestling on the 18th.
As will I.
Yeah. So we're gonna be there, and I know that Gary has been putting boots to pavement with flyers and everything like that, and and I know he's almost possessed when it comes to making sure everything gets put together. That's just in all honesty. I don't know if Gary's watching or not, but when he gets laser focused in, like he's all into it, and he doesn't stop. He's relentless.
Now, well, now it's just as good a time as any to bring this up. Joining me next week, Gary Benfield.
There you go.
We're talking about the High Velocity Wrestling Show on the 18th. And I believe we're also being joined by Mr. Tom Clark from Tom Clark's Main Event.
Okay.
Who's also involved with HVW.
Yeah, he does a lot of their media stuff, and there's probably a few other things that Tom does, but I know that Tom's been with them right before COVID hit and everything had to get shut down again because correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, not Carrie, but Gary restarted High Velocity Wrestling right before pandemic hit. Everything had to go down a little bit. He was restarting it. Then he had to take care of a few things, and now he's returning again with this show. So,
I think
I
don't look.
Because COVID pretty much killed it for everybody. I mean, almost everybody. We did our little TV taping thing just to kind of let things, flow through for a little while. Thomas Scott, which I know some people said some nasty things about Thomas when he was running that building over there in North Carolina, but I mean, as far as from what I could tell, man, people were not getting sick. He was following protocol and all that other stuff, but he was able to have shows come into the building.
Right.
And, so, but I mean, he worked hard for that, and that takes a lot of hard work, especially during that pandemic, because like, even for us having the close set stuff, had to make sure, people were tested.
Oh,
people were not sick. I even did the temperature checks on people when they came in. I said, I had my little gun with me, and I was like, I gotta scan you, buddy.
We had to write it down and sign our names.
Yeah.
I remember that. Remember it was a CPW taping. Mm-hmm. Speaking of CPW,
yes,
we're gonna switch you over to the CPW hat. Now, before we do that, let's let everybody know exactly what CPW. God, I hope this is the right video.
Better hope it's the right video.
It is. All right. All right. Yep. So the commissioner of Classic Pro Wrestling, CPW, Mr. Cole McAfee. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Oh man, it is great that we get to have CPW back. I have a special place in my heart for CPW because I'm not sure if you caught this when I was making the transition out of the ring run, but like CPW was besides the one time I booked myself for a pro wrestling union show. Yeah, I know a lot of promoters do that. They book themselves, but I didn't win. I didn't make myself the champion like some promoters do. And yes, if you ask me, I do have a problem with that because that means you have no faith in the people you bring in there. Prove me wrong. Come at me if you want to, or we can have this discussion as gentlemen. As I was making my exit, CPW was like the last place that I wrestled. I came back to wrestling after a 6-year hiatus of not wrestling in the ring, and it was a mistake, to be honest with you. The rate of where I was needing to be was not where I was, and the place where I got back into the ring was not great. And I had to leave that place, and thankfully David Cody Buck and Jimmy, they gave me an opportunity to come in, work a show for them. I didn't come back the very next month, and I thought, well, that was my one shot. But then next thing you know, I'm being asked to come back, and I worked with them in the ring as one of their heels is Cruel Cole Maccabee. Do you remember that asshole?
I was not there. So
Okay.
I think you were just named the commissioner when I came in.
Okay, Cruel Cole
2020.
Maccabee was like ordering Jake Roberts from Wish, heel Jake Roberts from Wish, and he didn't even have a snake too, so he was a lame ass. But Buck and Jimmy liked him for some reason. But anyway, but no, after that, I was aiming to get out of it completely, but Buck was the one that didn't really want to let me go. Buck was like, nah, brother, we'll find a place for you. We'll find a place for you, and all this good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I mean, whatever. And the next thing you know, he's like, commissioner, we're gonna make you the commissioner. And I was like, I was just a heel, and you're trusting me, somebody whose last match at CPW was beating Austin Bebop and Chris Phoenix, not the Chris Phoenix from North Carolina that everybody knows, a different Chris Phoenix. Beat them
Outlaw Chris Phoenix.
Yeah, Outlaw Chris Phoenix. I beat those guys in a handicap match. And then next thing you know, I'm coming out there and I am now a well-respected commissioner. But somehow it worked, people seem to have liked me as the commissioner. And, I still don't put up with bull crap. And I'm nice about everything. But I'm going to be honest with you. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
So, you just saw a little bit of that just a second ago. But yeah, so when CPW had to shut the doors and everything, and largely because of COVID, it was hurtful. But by that time, I had already started Pro Wrestling Union, so I did have something that I was already focused on too. But then when Buck had his stroke, that was pretty much it.
That's when it really hit.
Yeah, so Jimmy had taken time away from wrestling, even though he was still participating and lending a hand with Pro Wrestling Union and a lot of stuff. Him and Gavin, Buck was also very helpful with the ring and everything like that. And even after Buck had made a good bit of his recovery, still wanting to help out with the ring and everything like that. And God bless Buck. I mean, really, God bless him. Have to fight him sometimes to tell him not to lift a hand on certain things.
Even today.
Even today.
To this day, that's still a problem. And
Yeah,
I am one of the first, because you guys get tired of like going over to him and telling him to stop.
Yeah.
I actually walk over to him and I'm like, come here. Like, no, come on, dude. You don't need to do this. There's 30 people here. Come here. Tell us what to do. Point and tell.
Now, see, you weren't there. The one show where everybody showed up late and we were trying to get this ring in while it was raining. Buck is trying to grab stuff and I'm having to fight him and just be like, Buck, no, you can't be doing that stuff. And he's like, well, we got to get this in. And it wore Buck out because, it was like, I can't fight him and do what I need to do because there was only 4 of us trying to get a ring in from like a downpour rain. And, he was worn out and everything like that. And I chewed out that entire locker room. As soon as everybody got there, everybody was feeling good. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, nice to see you. And then I spoke,
Which show was that?
That was the Gold Rush show in Union.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah. I chewed out that locker room. I never have to chew out anybody. I can sit there and talk to people one-on-one or just in a group. No, I was mad. I was furious. And I'll give credit to Bebop. Bebop was the one that spoke up. He apologized and I said, hey, look, it's not me you got to apologize to. It's Buck you got to apologize to. I said, here's a man who is a stroke victim, stroke survivor. He got here on time and was putting in work that he had no business doing. What's y'all's excuse? If y'all can figure out a better one, then I'll accept your apology. That was it.
Right.
And you know, I got my wife looking at me now.
Oh, I'm sure. Does that mean we need to hurry up?
I'm looking at her. Was that what that means? You can speak. I put her on the spot. She hates it when I do that.
Mrs. McAfee is allowed to speak.
See, look. I might be the Pro Wrestling Union owner, promoter. I might be the CPW commissioner. That's my boss.
Yeah,
so,
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So she said she was just checking in on me.
Oh, that's good. See, and that's one thing. I walked up to her, I think after the last show where I seen her at, and I spoke to her. I said, you know, he's in a lot better shape this show than he was last one. Because the show prior to the most recent Pro Wrestling Union show, man, by the end of it, you were dead. You looked like you'd been hit by a truck.
I was worn out, man. I had very little sleep. I got the ring in, helped tear everything down, all that good stuff. She's actually about to be joining me, I think.
That's fine too. But what I did was I walked up to Miss Mac and I said, "Hey, listen. One of the coolest moments I've ever seen in professional wrestling was her coming up behind you and putting her arm around you and like, you got this. You got that. We're good. We're good." Look, she's still smiling. And that was how it was. You were beat to piss and she was smiling. And I was like, that's what this is about.
She's my Adrian to my Rocky, if that makes sense.
You take all the ass whooping and she just stands behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. And cheers me on.
There you go. We're going to catch up on a couple of comments, and then I believe we have a special announcement to make. There's no such thing as over-promoting. The fact it was even said says a lot about that person.
Right.
I'm inclined to agree. Jimmy's telling me I better go early to Chester. The fans line up early. Cool, I'll keep that in mind, but I mean, work is work. Is Buck Carter watching? I don't know. Then Bug Carter talked me back into the business, says Kylan Disney. Oh, that's a good thing, because without Kylan Disney being in the business, I probably never would have showed up. And speaking of, there's Thomas Scott himself. He's chiming in. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Man, like I said, there's been a lot of people who've rebuilt and come back and made it, better than ever. I'm glad Buck is up and moving around. Good. I'm glad he's still able to do some things. But while I've got her, I've just asked you, what do you think of everything with Pro Wrestling Union and the whole wrestling lifestyle? What do you think of this?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
I mean, so I'm proud of him. I think he's doing a really good job. I know it's something that he really likes. And honestly, I'm just happy that he's not in the ring anymore, because that always made me nervous. But I know that he likes still being involved with it, handling the business side of things. And if that's something that he likes to do, I'm happy to sit by and help out where I can.
I got a good one.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
That's not BS. I mean, it really is. And I'm sure I've told this story before, but I'll tell the compressed version of it. One of the first shows that she ever went to, she saw me bleed like a stuck pig in a I Quit match, and for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. She was like constantly calling my phone, just checking in on me, because normally I will tell her at least something to kind of give her a clue of I'm gonna be okay, or I'm okay. She didn't hear a word from me. That was because I had Eric Adams, who's he's located out in Georgia right now, but he was in the Carolinas for a little bit. He was like in the back with a cigarette in his mouth, with like his fingers right there in the little wound that I got like right here on my forehead, because I like took 5 aspirin that day from a bad headache. So one little cut on my head, I was just like gushing blood everywhere. Like I think at one point I may have hit a fan where it squirted. I have no clue. I just know I couldn't see because the blood was caked in my eye, and I'm like throwing fists, and people are like, "Man, that was just like really good storytelling." I was like, I wasn't telling a story. I was trying to hit somebody, and I couldn't see.
Right.
So I'm like throwing, and match was over, and she's like calling me, blowing my phone up, and they're getting me fixed up over a little tiny scratch. Is what it was, no joke. And she was not happy. That one right there. She was not happy. She was mixed emotions. She was scared for me because of what happened. She was happy to see me because I was all right, but at the same time, she was angry with me because I didn't pick up the damn phone.
Right.
So the car ride home was just like, I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. I love you.
Right.
You still love me?
That's why we need runners. That's why we need runners to let somebody go out into the crowd and be like, "Hey, look, can't open this, but listen, he can't talk on the phone. He's getting cleaned up."
She had one of her family members that happened to show up that night. A family member of hers that eventually became a wrestler for a short amount of time. The entire time that she's sitting there worried, he's like over there like, hey, can I get his number so that way I can talk to him and help me get into the business and all this other stuff because I want to get in the business. And she's over here like worried that I'm probably dead. You know?
Wow.
So he was not having a good time that night. She really wasn't. But one thing I will say, and she can testify to this, I never did another match like that ever again. And that was how serious I was about this one, because I have actually dumped girls that said, it's either me or the business. And I went,
see ya. Hey, you know, I am grateful that my wife supports all my goofy ass excursions, and and even this show that the two kids are running back and forth. I can hear them across the house. I don't know if you guys can or not, or anybody out there can hear.
I can't hear it.
It's not muted.
No, it's not muted. But
yeah, you can't hear the background.
But we're gonna talk about returns, build backs, a lot better than Biden has at this point.
You're not wrong, but I don't. I try to stay away from that. It looks like a dumpster fire. That's what they built. Anyway, let's see here. We already saw Thomas Scott. Oh, Kylan says hello, Mrs. McAbee.
Mrs. McAbee.
Thomas was asking how everything is going. Everything's going great, man. We're just talking about upcoming shows. Don't worry. I've got that next poster for you lined up and ready to go. Not this week's show, but yes, I have that poster already here, and I've got to put everything in order. I try to keep everything within a month. However, unless I have, big match promos coming up, I do build out for those. Let's see here. Let's see. We're just catching up. Thomas Scott, what's happening up north? And Thomas said my wife won't even come if I'm wrestling. I saw him in his retirement match. I just saw him retire.
Wait, which one? He had a couple of them. I know. We all got that. We're all like Terry Funk, like, yeah, this is gonna be my last one. That's where, that's where it's gonna be. Then next thing you know, he's coming out and Jerry Lawler's got to do something. And he's got to go over there and fight Jerry Lawler again.
Well, all right. So who's Ric Flair fighting against? Do we know yet?
I know that the last time that I heard anything about that, they were trying to say Ricky Steamboat, but Ricky squashed that immediately.
He says it's not him, but I know it's already sold out. He doesn't even have an opponent, and it's sold out already.
It very much could be Jay Lethal. I mean, Jay Lethal's been in the ring with him and all that other stuff. So, I mean, it could be him for all I know. But yeah, the events are sold out, and I got mixed feelings about the whole thing, and I know we're getting off topic again, but my thing is that there have been people his age, if not older, who worked in the ring, and did okay and everything like that. I mean, you got to even look at Jerry Lawler. He's had heart issues, and
he had a heart attack on air.
He had a heart attack on air, but he's had heart issues and other things, and and he's still occasionally getting in the ring doing stuff, but Jerry Lawler working and Ric Flair working are two completely different things. Because Lawler is definitely what you would call the safe, smart worker. He knows how to tell a story without having to do a lot.
Yeah.
And you're never disappointed by what Lawler does. Flair, on the other hand, he has his own style, the way that he wants to work, and it's like that match that he had with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, and you cannot say anything against that match with Shawn Michaels. He gave Shawn Michaels everything he had, did everything for him.
Oh, I agree entirely.
And I think that's just Flair's mentality, and I think that's where a lot of people are worried about Ric Flair over. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little worried about that myself, because I think I've seen several people say, like, this man's just trying to die in the ring, and I mean, that's what people are saying,
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be the case. But I feel like once he gets it out of himself, maybe it will be it, and it'll go out on his own terms, and hopefully the people that paid the ticket, and it was an expensive ticket, the people that paid the ticket for it will have a good time,
Right. Now, Thomas Scott says, I retired to Thomas Extreme officially.
Okay.
So there's that. Then Kyle and Disney chimed in. Jerry Lawler cussed me at the last show I worked. I don't know why I'm not surprised.
I can buy that.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Well, are we ready for the special announcement?
Yes, we are.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and announce, and this is actually a very, very big deal, because this is a very exciting match. If you're gonna go ahead and kick off one of the matches for CPW's return, you better have a damn good match, right? Well, I got one for you. It is a tag team match, but it's not just your normal tag team. It is a 4-way elimination tag team match. You've got former CPW tag team champions, the Soul Patrol, Black Cat Dion Johnson and Sweet Dreams. In another corner, you got the current reigning Pro Wrestling Union tag team champions, the Heart Killers, with locally hated Chris Vallo and Tommy Django. In another corner, you've got Family Tradition. You got Selena Rose. You got James Johnson. You've got Daddy-Daughter Dance. And the wild card in this, and the one that's going to shock and surprise everybody, you got Keith Mack and you got Stuart Snodgrass, a.k.a. the other guys. Elimination style tag team match. And like I said, if you're going to bring back a company, you better kick it off with something really nice. This right here, you've got 4 great tag teams, and this is the way to kick it off right here.
Right. And see, the Soul Patrol have been a staple of CPW since its inception.
Exactly.
James Johnson and Selena Rose both have worked CPW shows in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
They have.
Let's see here. Vallo's worked CPW. Tommy Django was with the Three Brothers back in the day.
And Stuart Snodgrass has actually been on CPW before, but now Keith, on the other hand, this will be his first foray into classic pro wrestling. But have you honestly sit down and watch Keith Mack's work? This dude's tremendous.
I have not.
He is a tremendous wrestler. I am not even kidding. He is absolutely fantastic. And I think since him and Stuart have been partnering up, because Stuart's always been, like watching him like from NAWA and everything like that, he's always been able to get one over on the majority of his opponents. But I felt like having that partnership between himself and Keith has really elevated his game. And he's really come out of that shell a lot more, and he's just getting better and better as well. I'm sure that his mom is proud of him, since he still lives with mom at home and in the basement with the Star Trek figures and and all that stuff. I think it's Star Trek figures. I don't want to upset him, and he's actually a Star Wars fan. You know, he just kind of comes. He comes off as the kind of guy that comes up to me and says, "Which one's your favorite captain? Is it Picard or is it Kirk?" That's the guy. That's the vibe I get from him.
Dude,
Picard,
so
by the way.
his promo for Ray Prime is still one of my favorite ones that I've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
It's Ray Prime, and I love the whole delivery. It was
that sounded
great.
just like him. I swear that sounded just like Stewart.
I know. Well, there's a reason for that. You know, geeks and nerds kind of have a similar. We have a similar vibe about us, I guess you could say.
I don't know.
And,
I'm kind of a geek.
well, there's a difference though. There's the comic book style, and then there's the Star Wars style. There's two different ones. Trust me.
Marvel and Star Wars are under the same umbrella. So
now they are.
But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're all under the same boat.
But you want to see some really wicked ones? Go check out the anime, guys. Oh my lord!
I will not touch an anime person with a 10-foot pole. Dear Lord, those are some dedicated people, and and I thought me liking things like Dragon Ball Z was kind of a big deal. and then I realized, like, whoa, no, I'm not even close. I'm not even scratching the surface. So
I can't get into that stuff. I've tried. Like, the closest I ever got into that was like Pokemon, maybe, but like that's it.
See, I wasn't into but then again, that was like way after my time, though.
Yeah, see, I grew up with the original Game Boy and stuff, so I didn't get into the cartoon that heavy. I watched the cartoon with my kids; they like it, so I'll watch it with them.
Yeah.
But like the trading card, nah, I didn't get into none of that. And yeah, recently finally got able to watch all the Harry Potter movies, so there's that. I've taken that step.
Okay. So I don't even know if I've even done that, to be honest with you. I could sit there and I could tell you the timeline for all of the MCU movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you which one's first in chronological order, in case, and all that other good stuff. So if somebody's like, well, how do you suppose watching this in the right order? I'm going to be the guy who's going to sit you down and be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. So.
Except the only part you're going to miss me on is where you have to inject the shield. Episode 1 through 7 here, episode 7 through season 2 here, and this and that. You can forget it.
I could do that to you, but I'm not going to do that to people. I'm like, if you're just going to watch the movies, which I can do that for. I can do that for you, but no, not with the TV shows. And if anybody ever brings up the Eternals, I'm just going to be like, no. If there's one to skip that one.
All right, so fine. As a challenge for you on that note, after Captain America Civil War, what comes next? Spider-Man Homecoming or Black Widow? What's exactly next?
What's exactly next? On that one, that's going to be Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming needs to be before Black Widow.
Actually, hold on. No. Yep. Spider-Man Homecoming is before Black Widow.
Okay. Well, that answered that question then. Adding in, going back to some wrestling comments here. Jimmy Moore said, Kylan, I would cuss you too. Thomas Scott says he will be there. Jimmy chimed in, everyone but Keith Mack has worked at CPW. Oh, here we go. Keith Mack is one of the best storytellers I've ever seen. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely gonna check this guy out. I love the vignettes they do, playing Jenga and busting beer bottles and all that other madness. That seems like a great time. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, like I said, Keith's fantastic, and I think the partnership between him and Stewart have been a tremendous combination as far as duos go. And I'm going to be honest with you, just from my standpoint, if you were to ask me which team is going to come out on top, Soul Patrol, they've got the experience. Heart Killers, dirty tactics that they could use to their advantage. Daddy daughter dance, they've got that connection with themselves, where there's not really a whole lot of communication that has to go on between the two. They think so much alike, so that's what makes them dangerous as a team. But then you got this interesting dynamic between Keith and Stewart that they're so unpredictable, because they don't have the same strategy, And Keith can hit you from all over the place, and then of course Stewart is so calculating because he is a smart guy, not just because he's not because he's a nerd. I mean, I'm just being honest. He's a smart guy. He's a tactician. So he knows how to pick his spots wisely, and that's been his thing.
When
my wife's like sitting over here like.
When we had the one CPW show that Stewart worked, and I showed up early with the wife, and we were talking, and I introduced her to Stewart, and she goes, "He's a wrestler?" And I'm like, "Yes, he does like the greatest promo ever. His gimmick is awesome. I love the guy's work." And he was kind of like, "Wait, really?" Like, yeah, dude, I'm entertained. If I'm entertained, you're doing something right. Because I'm not that easily entertained.
Stewart
go ahead.
Stewart as an individual, like in all honesty, he's very down to earth and humble.
Yeah.
And that is, I guess, slightly pulling the curtain back. He doesn't really view himself as, I guess, other people view him, as far as like people say, oh yeah, but he's good at this, he's good at this. He don't look at himself that way, and this is only happened from just a few conversations with him, but he's very humble, and he's very happy to be part of wrestling, because I know there was a time frame where he wasn't sure if he was going to be doing it or not and all that good stuff, so he took time away and then he came back. So but no, Stewart's as an individual, as a person behind the curtains, awesome guy.
Oh, very much so. And you spoke intelligence. I was helping clean up that night, and it was myself, him, and Chuck Sloan. The odd dynamic is there is 10 years exactly between us each, and the three of us are standing in a line, and we're helping break down this ring. And I was just like, man, it was just a weird coincidence that the three of us were all 10 years different in age, yet we were still doing the same things and able to have a conversation. Wrestling seems to be a great common denominator for people, in my book, because it's so subjective and it's all about perspective, and it just works really well. Let's see here. We were talking about stuff back in the day and shit. I had Pong by Atari. Yeah, I remember playing that. I remember having an Atari when I was, 3. I remember playing an Atari when I was about 3, and ColecoVision as well. I remember that thing too. You remember that?
I remember. I don't think I've ever actually played with it, but I do remember that actually still being around because my older brother, he's actually about 8 years older than I am. So he still had like his Atari. He had the ColecoVision. He also had another system. He actually had a Commodore 64 at one point. But I mean, like for him, he like my other brother Tom and I, we were all Nintendo kids. So everybody had a Nintendo. Still put the Nintendo as a better system over the Sega any day. Some people will fight me on that. But we went from Nintendo to the Super Nintendo to the N64. I branched away and went to PlayStation. But that's another story for another day because, these days I don't really even get to play games. She can tell you, I got a PlayStation sitting in the living room that I barely use now. So I guess I've gotten to that point now where I'm like, I'm too old for video games. I got 2 younger kids, so the games I want to play are not games you play around children. You can't play Red Dead Redemption 2 around kids. You can't.
So I have a Nintendo Switch that my daughter predominantly plays. And this machine that this whole production's being done from is a gaming rig that I built years and years ago and have, beefed up over the years. And guess what? It
What?
sits here and this is all I do with it.
Oh,
What are you doing? What in the hell just happened? Why did he go sideways? And why are they frozen? All right. Well, so as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, that there's the poster, the first official poster announcement for the CPW Takeover show coming up in September. Um, and if Mr. and Mrs. Mac decide to come back, we will go there. But let's see here. We're going to catch up on some comments. Scott Larson from the hashtag Truth chimed in. CPW, woo, I can't wait. Man, look, I don't think anybody can wait for that show. That's going to be a good time. Let's see here. The first time I seen Keith, he was facing Stewart, and they had a great match, and it was comical. I think the comical part is on Keith's TikTok. Okay, I'll have to check into that. Red Dead is awesome. Don't suggest you play it with kids. Dude, I don't. All right. So we play like Switch Sports or something along those lines, or the workout game Ring Fit. But other than that, man, my kids like Zelda, which is great because I still think that Zelda is one of the greatest games of all time in the history of gaming. I am interested to find out what happened there from Mr. and Mrs. Maccabee. But at this time, man, let's go ahead and talk about AEW Double or Nothing. Now, of course, we've since had CM Punk had to say his whole deal about, I gotta go away and I gotta have surgery. Well, okay, I understand, and that's fine. They're gonna do an interim title. A lot of people don't agree with it. Here's the thing: look at fighters or sports like boxing and MMA, they do it there. So with that being said, I don't think this is a terrible idea. I really don't believe it's a bad idea here. The MJF promo was awesome to a degree. I will agree with you. Um, I think it's a work because it seems way too move for move on the chessboard like WWE's removal from the intro video and merchandise from the store. And then it was the pipe bomb with the word shit sprinkled into it a bunch of times. Yeah, could have done less cussing. Whatever. I Yet again, know your audience, and the South is one audience. You got the rest of the country that doesn't really care. I guess is the way to put that. You know, I try to shy away from saying certain things as well, but I occasionally still do make the mistake of saying those things. But that's just me. Um, Now, when you talk about the rest of what occurred there, let's look at the pay per view as a whole. I missed the first hour. I was still working on stuff, um, and out of the entire show that I saw, the best match on the card that delivered in the ring was Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa. And the trick of the trade with that was it was a great wrestling match. Um, I believe that Deeb was the opponent that Baker needed, but it's okay. It is what it is. Um, and it's just one of those things where they could do so much more with it. There's a lot of different things that could be done with that. Uh, I'm just hopeful that she gets another shot and there's more that can be done there. Because it's one of those deals where I don't think that story's over. I really do think that Deeb needs to be wearing a strap, and that's just my opinion. Um, so hopefully we get a return match from that. Uh, Either way, overall it wasn't a bad show. I just don't think there was nothing really to write home about. The tag match wasn't bad. There's nothing really popped out and said, "Hey, watch me." On in that occasion, there was a lot of good things on the card that made everybody tune in. But as far as what delivered, the main event was a good wrestling match. I had to go back and watch it because I fell asleep. That was a long pay per view here on the East Coast. Let's see here. Other than that, man, really, like I said, the finals for the Owens Cup the Owens Cup, and they got their tag belts. That's all well and good. They were both fine matches. I really thought Ruby needed to win that because I thought that Ruby hasn't been winning anything other than the matches to get her there to the finals. I don't know. Uh, I guess it's okay, but I also would have believed that Jeff Hardy could have been one going for the Owen Cup because of he actually worked Owen, 20 years ago or whatever, however long it's been. It's been a long time. So as far as AEW and Double or Nothing goes, Double or Nothing was an okay show, in my opinion. I understand I'm probably not the majority here, but it was just all right. Uh, when you look at things the way I look at things, if it's been done to death or every match looks the same, there's no real point in it. I guess is one good way to put that. Um, and now you can say, well, every match doesn't look the same. Well, yeah, a lot of people went flying. That happened all night long. Except for two matches that I really paid attention to. You didn't see too much of the high flying, high risks. And I felt that those were the better matches on the card because they stood out. Now, you know, when you look at the way Dynamite went and Rampage went, it's still building up. It's still getting you to the next event or the next show or whatever. And you got Blood and Guts coming soon. Uh, I'll be interested to see how they do that. Is Jericho going to be bald? Probably. Oh man, been a long show and we still got more to cover. So let's talk about the upcoming show here. You know, we got Hell in the Cell coming up. I'm genuinely excited to watch this. Matter of fact, as you can see, it is 6:28 on the Eastern, and that means at 7, it's time for the actual pre-show for this. So I will be long gone and off air by then. Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. Can this end now? Like, I'm hoping this is the end of it. But WWE has got 15 weeks in a row of Sheamus and them versus the New Day. So I get it. At least it's entertaining and it's giving them something to do. But on that note, it's been boring, so that's why I'm yawning. Let's see here. You got Finn Balor and AJ Styles and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day. That's going to be a pretty good match. I wonder if they're going to debut a new shirt or maybe a new name for them. That would be awesome. I'd be down with that. Handicap match: Bobby Lashley versus Omos and MVP. I don't see a way that Bobby Lashley wins this. I think it's going to be kind of stupid. I don't expect it to be a squash match, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. United States Championship match: Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. The reality is, I feel like there's going to be interference. I don't feel like this is going to be a straight up good finish. I'm hopeful that it will be. And if it's a legit finish and it's just a good match, hell yeah, I'm down with it. It has all the ability to be a great match. Both of the guys that are in there are awesome. Raw Women's Championship will be defended. Bianca Belair defends against Asuka and Becky Lynch. All right. I'm over Becky. Asuka does not need to take the loss after just coming back. Bianca could retain and I'd be fine, or Asuka could win and I'd be fine. But Becky Lynch is taking the L tonight. No matter how you splice it, Becky Lynch is getting pinned or submitting tonight. And you can mark that down. You can write it down, take a picture. I don't give a damn. That's what's going to happen. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in the Cell match. Now, I heard Cody got injured at a house show. So I will be really interested to see what happens here or how it transpires. So let's hope that the reports of him being injured are wrong. Let's hope for a good match tonight. But guys, it has been a great show. We've gone for a solid 2.5 hours. Sprinkling in videos, sprinkling in pictures and things of that sort. Now, in case you didn't notice, the primary thing that we talked about in today's episode were all about the cancer benefit coming up. Yes, of course, we're mentioning other shows and we're bringing up other shows, other companies, and other promotions. Yeah, there's a lot of work going on. The cancer benefit is something that's also very near and dear to my heart as well. So I wanted to make sure that as much energy and effort as I put into everything, I put into that too. Now, in the coming weeks, next week, we've got Gary Benfield and Tom Clark coming on. We're going to be talking about HVW's arrival. We'll probably have a couple of other things sprinkled in throughout there as well. There are, let's see here, HVW arrival is, here we go, Marion, North Carolina on the 18th. We've got a His Pro Wrestling show in Paglet on the 24th. We've got CMW Evolution in Lauren, South Carolina on the 25th. So that's just to finish out the rest of this month, guys. Now, here's the kicker. I don't know who I'm going to have on the show after Gary Benfield. I actually have an open week. So let's use that to your advantage. Find me somebody to talk to. Anybody wants to talk about anything, don't care. We can make it happen. I've got no problems doing it. So if there's anybody who's wanting to come on from either his show on the 24th or the CMW show on the 25th, the floor is yours. We will actually do, I'll make it even better. I'll do both of them. Bring me one person from each show. Don't care who. I'll figure it out between now and then, and we will go from there. So at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, your boys got to go eat. So thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you all. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Don't forget to check out all of my wrestling friends that's in here. Cole, Tim Godfrey, Thomas Scott, Scott Larson, Jimmy Ward, Buck Carter was here, Kylan Disney, Casey Leanne, Wesley Flasky, Bill Hazelwood, HBT, everybody who chimed in. I appreciate all of you for being here and kicking it off with me. Reno Royce, Michael King, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. I'm looking for her name now. It's up here a bit. I can't remember who it was. Oh, John King, a new person I've never seen in here before. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. Justine, that's her name. Justine, thank you very much for showing up and asking questions. I greatly appreciate you still rocking with us. She used to watch us a couple of years ago when I think we were calling it Grilling with the Saint. I'd be out at the grill getting half hammered and just kind of bullshitting with everybody. But that was a good time too. The Real Drago, thank you for checking in as well. Man, it's going to be it's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. It's a great time to be involved in pro wrestling. Yep, there it is. Justine Elizabeth. I appreciate you chiming in and being a viewer as well. Guys, do me a solid. Hit that like, share, subscribe, the notification bell, hit all that stuff. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook on 3 pages. If you can't see me there, you can see me at the wrestling shows. And if you don't know which ones, they're probably the ones where I'm sharing posters and saying you don't want to miss it because I'm going to be here. And at any point in time, man, I've always made points. I've made it a point whenever I'm doing anything. If anybody wants to talk to me, I've always gone out of my way to make sure that they have time to do it and enjoy the conversation. So, guys, ladies, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate everything. I will see you at the show. Thus proclaimed, the Saint, of course.